Bandits kill 1, kidnap 6 in Sokoto. Traditional ruler, 21 others kidnapped in Taraba. NCC directs service providers to disconnect lines without NIN. On the foreign scene, 5 dead in suspected ADF attack in Uganda. Hello and welcome to the Trust TV News Update. I'm Aisha Salihu. We begin with a sad development and a security update in Sokoto State, where bandits have killed 1 person and abducted 6 others in an attack on Tursa village in Raba local government area. The attack occurred in the early hours of Tuesday. According to the police public relations officer of the Sokoto State Police Command, Ahmed Rufai, the assailants invaded the village and set ablaze a house where the victim was burnt. He said other properties were burnt, including motorcycles, adding that an unspecified number of livestock were also rustled. He informed that the State Commissioner of Police has ordered the manhunt for the suspected criminals and promised to give more updates on the development as it unfolds. Still on security matters, 21 people, including the third-class chief of Pupule community in Yoro local government area of Taraba State, Umaru Nyala, have been kidnapped. They were taken at gunpoint by suspected to be kidnappers who invaded the village at about 2 a.m. on Tuesday, shooting sporadically across the community. An eyewitness disclosed that among the 22 people kidnapped was a pregnant woman, people of the same family, and the son of the third-class chief and his security orderly. This is the 3rd time that kidnapping for ransom is taking place in the village in less than 6 months, without any arrested. The police in the state said although they are yet to confirm the incident, they have, however, dispatched a tactical squad to the scene for investigation to unravel more details concerning the incident. And earlier, we had Daily Trust reporter Magaji Hunkoyi, who gave us an update.
Yeah, the public relations officer of the Taraba Police Command, Inspector of Police Usman Abdullahi, confirmed that the second-class chief of Kwaji Chiefdom in Yoro local government was abducted along with his pregnant wife and son and about 17 people in the town. The public relations officers told me that up to now there was no contact between the kidnappers and the family of those that are abducted. So I don't know whether there is any effort being done to rescue those abducted, including the monarch. It's not only the Bufle town that is facing this problem. In fact, many communities around Jalingo and other local governments are facing this problem. You know, there was a report by the local hunters that the bandits surrounded Jalingo and other mountain areas, and they are kidnapping. There is that alarm about 2 weeks ago, and I don't know whether there is any measure taken by the security or the government, because this thing is becoming too much. Yeah, people are just appealing to government and the security agents to do something because they are under threat, because many of them have been kidnapped day and night. In fact, there are communities, rural communities, where these bandits move during the day and night freely with their arms, and they kidnap, they harass at will. So that's serious concern, because even some people are even afraid to move to their communities, because most of these roads leading to villages and local headquarters are not secured.
And now away from Taraba State, armed bandits have abducted the village head of Rakiabu in Safei local government area of Zamfara State and the chief imam of the village, Alam Abdullahi. Although police authorities in the state are yet to confirm the latest abductions, a resident of the area said the bandits had contacted the community, demanding 5 million naira as ransom. According to him, the community had launched an appeal fund since the incident happened and could only raise 500,000 naira. He said the bandits had collected the 500,000 naira and refused to release the 2 abducted persons. Now, the police command in Kaduna State has rescued a kidnapped victim after 6 months in captivity. The police public relations officer of the command, ASP Mansur Hassan, who disclosed this to newsmen in Kaduna State, said the victim was rescued along the Madachi Galadimawa area in Zaria local government area. Hassan said that in the course of investigation, it was discovered that the victim was kidnapped 6 months ago on his way to Kotangora in Niger State. He noted that efforts are on to arrest the fleeing suspects and also trace the victim's relatives. Still on security matters, residents of Benue State have commended what they said is the noticeable improvement in the area of security in the state. Although they are collectively glad about the current situation since the inception of the present administration, both at the state and national levels, they are, however, divided as to who should take the credit for the state's improved security. Jimmy Azande reports.
Some of the residents are saying that the presidency should be commended for the improved security situation in the state, owing to President Tinubu's drive to end insecurity in the country.
It's an improvement, and the cogent reason is this. The president of this country has taken the issue of security challenges very seriously, and so as a result of that, we have less security challenges in Benue State and as well as other states.
Others, however, say the credit should be given to Governor Alia, whom they say is exploiting every arsenal within his constitutional powers as the chief security officer of the state.
We saw movement of military personnel in the state, especially in areas of Sankara, where most of these things have been outside armed attack from people who have cattle, people who are working for cattle owners. So by and large, I would say that the situation has improved because I do not longer receive everyday news of attacks by armed men in the name of herdsmen. I do not hear cases of kidnappings every day, so I would say that that's improvement.
Another group of residents say some communities have invoked spiritual forces to end criminality and violent acts, hence the current calm in such places.
The security situation there in Sankara now has reduced, though not 100%. The swing that they did has helped a lot. But still, there is a challenge that I will urge the other communities, because the swing that they did in Ukum, those boys are saying it's only in Ukum local government. And actually, it has worked in Ukum local government. It has saved the situation very well. They are saying it's only Ukum local government that did this one. So now, if you ask me, I will ask the Shitile, the Ugondo, and Tongo community to also buy the idea of swing. That's what has really helped the security situation in Sankara.
Most Benue residents are calling on all stakeholders to continue with the strategies taken so far to end the tax on the state, be it internal or external. Jimmy Azandi, Trust TV News, Makurdi.
And now to political matters. After weeks of dramatic twists in Rivers State, the political gladiators in the oil-rich South State have reached a truce on Monday after a meeting with President Bola Tinubu at the Aso Villa in Abuja. The meeting had in attendance Governor Siminalayi Fubara and his predecessor, Nyesom Wike, who is now the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory. Also at the meeting were ex-Rivers Governor Peter Odili and some traditional rulers from the state. Vice President Kashim Shettima and the Chief of Staff to the President, Femi Gbajabiamila, were also part of the meeting. Rivers State has been immersed in political crisis over the past 3 months. The rift between Wike and Fubara split lawmakers in the House, with 27 of them decamping from the People's Democratic Party to the ruling All Progressives Congress. The feud also saw the emergence of parallel sittings, an impeachment plot against the governor, the demolition of the Assembly complex, and a gale of resignations of pro-Wike commissioners in Fubara's cabinet. The president and some elder statesmen had intervened in the crisis earlier in October, but it degenerated into a full-blown political fight a week ago. Earlier, we had Daily Trust political group editor Clement Oloyede, and he gave us an update.
This is the second time the president is more or less intervening in this political crisis happening in the states. How far this second intervention will go is still much to be seen. But from the communique read yesterday, it looks more like, without really saying it's more like taking side, it looks like the communique, the resolutions taken, more or less favors the side of the Minister of FCT, Nyesom Wike. And why I have to say this is that if you look at the way the crisis has progressed over time, it's more obvious that the attacker in this crisis, the person taking the fight forward, has been the side of the former governor. So if the resolutions favors him this time, is left to be seen whether now or whether it will put the matter to rest. But like you said, how this will pan out is still much to be seen. That's why I said it's still left to be seen how this will play out. There are some issues when it gets to the public like this, when it degenerates to the point that people are breaking ranks, people are leaving the party that sponsored them to get to the place. You don't just expect that the president's calling some of the leaders and talking to them and reading a resolution will put the matter to final stop, because look at, just like you said, some of the cabinet members, some of the commissioners that resigned, the resolution has said that their name should be resubmitted to the assembly. These same people, they are obviously pro Wike in the fight. So if their principal still have some grouses with the governor, definitely there will still be some issues. And don't forget something, anytime this cabinet meets, whatever decision is being taken now, these persons will be seen as, okay, these are the people that will go and tell Wike group what we have decided at the cabinet. So there's just this mutual suspicion that will continuously exist between these cabinet members. The same thing at the state assembly. If you're bringing the 27 member that are loyal to Wike together with the 4 members that are loyal to the governor, if you're bringing them together to sit under the same roof, whatever decision they are taking, of course, unlike at the cabinet, now the pro-Wike lawmakers are the majority. They will always have their say. But you still have that mutual suspicion, which means that at the long run, they might still, it's just like sitting on a keg of explosive. Any little fire can still return them to where they were before, or even worse. I still expect the PDP at the national level not to allow this matter to go to bed like this. If the president asks all the parties involved, if the resolution reached at the meeting was for all the parties to withdraw the case, the PDP as a party still has the right, they still have the local standing to institute a case against these 27 lawmakers that, okay, you got to the assembly on our ticket and we do not recognize you as lawmakers again, and ask the court to declare their seat vacant. So I think with that, I don't really see the fight over, the crisis over, but the PDP has a lot to do to regain its standing in Rivers if it's ever going to do that again.
This is the news update on Trust TV. Still ahead, we'll take a look at the festive season in Jos as Christians count down to Christmas. More news after the break. Don't go away. Welcome back and thank you so much for staying. If you're just joining us, this is a Trust TV news update. Now let's take a look at a recap of some of our top stories. You heard that bandits kill 1, kidnap 6 in Sokoto. Traditional ruler, 21 others kidnapped in Taraba. And now moving on to more stories. Traditional leaders of Hausa communities in southwest Nigeria have expressed concerns over the political tensions in Kano State in the aftermath of the litigations of the governorship election in the state. At a meeting held at the palace of the Sarakin Hausawa of Egba land in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital, the leaders cautioned politicians against destabilizing the polity. Trust TV's Abbas Ibrahim Dalibi now reports.
Addressing journalists after their meeting, the leaders called on the political actors in Kano and Nigeria to amicably resolve the impasses as the political climate in the state is tense ahead of the judgment of the Supreme Court. The Sarki Hausawa of Shagamu, Inuwa Garba, disclosed that the Arewa communities living in the south are concerned about the development in Kano.
To our esteemed leaders to use their knowledge and political wisdom in dealing with Kano problem so as to avoid violence and mayhem. Kano problem might easily spread to other parts of the country. Such, with due regard to saving the people, their lives and properties, we hope the elders and leaders will apply the wisdom to save the situation. As traditional leaders, we actually want peace and harmony to reign.
On his part, the Sarki Hausawa of Ile-Ife, Lawal Isiaka, urged the federal government to intervene for peace to reign in Kano and Nigeria as whole.
Peace is very important. Without it, there will not be development. I urge them to ensure peace.
The host Sarki, Ibrahim Hassan, who is the Sarki Hausawa of Egbaland, disclosed that the Council of the Sarkis in the southwest will deliver their communique to the federal government through the Obas in the region.
If anything violent starting in Kano State, it will escalate to nation entirely, and we don't want it.
From Abeokuta, Abbas Ibrahim Alibi, Trust TV, Lagos.
The city of Jos, Plateau State's capital, is wearing a new look as government, individuals and organizations decorate their premises and strategic locations across the city ahead of the Christmas and New Year celebrations. Trustee Dixon Adama, who visited some areas, reports that Christmas lights and other decorations are setting the mood for this year's celebration. Let's take a look at the report.
Christmas lights are said to symbolize the stars, particularly the Star of David that appeared in Bethlehem on the night Jesus Christ was born. Since then, Christians use Christmas lights in their homes, churches, organizations, streets, among other places. This practice has been in place from time immemorial. A significant aspect of the Christmas lights is the beauty that they add to the environment, especially at night.
And it also gives us the sense of Christmas, makes us enjoy the environment. Even at night, when you're walking, you always have the sense of holiday, and you always wish it extends more than December. So today, Christmas light is very important, and the significance we might not know, but as we go on, the joy it gives us is what we are so proud about.
I wouldn't just want us to be carried away by the lightning that makes the environment looks good, but I want the government in Plateau State to also find a way of making the lights in Plateau State to keep shining and shining even after the celebration.
Whenever I see Christmas trees and Christmas lightning, it's a time to relax and enjoy and wind down from a whole year of stress, and then also meet with family members and enjoy the time you have to spend together. But generally, Christmas lighting is always top gear.
This Christmas light is in addition to other Christmas decorations like the Christmas trees, season greetings, signs, flowers, Santa Claus activities, among other things. For sure, this has become an exciting aspect of the Christmas celebration, which Christians faithful often find necessary and appealing, hence the yearly practice by the faithful.
The people of Jos, Plateau State's capital, really looking forward to the Christmas celebration. Now, away from that, the Nigerian Communications Commission has directed MTN Nigeria, Airtel and other telecommunications firms to fully bar phone lines without national identity numbers and those whose NINs have not been verified. This was disclosed in a corporate notice that MTN Nigeria filed with the Nigerian Exchange Limited, revealing the directive from NCC and the attached deadlines for the barring. In the statement signed by its company secretary, Uto Ukbana, MTN Nigeria said This is part of an industry-wide directive that requires phone lines for which the subscribers have not submitted their NINs to be barred on or before 28 February 2024. With regard to NINs that have been submitted but not verified, such lines are to be barred on or before 29 March 2024, where 5 or more lines are linked to an unverified NIN. The current directive is a follow-up to the NCC's directive of April 2022, requiring operators to restrict outgoing calls for subscribers whose lines are not associated with NINs. And now away from Nigeria, at least 5 people were killed, including a local leader, after suspected rebels from an armed group allied to ISIL attacked an area in western Uganda late on Monday, the area legislator said on Tuesday. On Monday, the Allied Democratic Forces attacked Kiambandara Parish in Kamwenge district in western Uganda at about 10 p.m., the lawmaker Cuthbert Abigaba said. According to Abigaba, the attackers then killed a local councillor whom they found in a small roadside restaurant she operated alongside 4 of her clients who had just sat down for a meal. The deputy spokesperson for Uganda's military, Dio Akiki, confirmed the attack and said they would give details later. The ADF was formed as an anti-Kampala rebel group in the mid-1990s and initially battled the government of President Yoweri Museveni from bases in the Rwenzori Mountains. After its formation, the group was eventually routed by the Ugandan army, with remnants fleeing into Eastern Democratic Republic of the Congo, where they have since orchestrated deadly attacks with thousands of casualties in the last decade across both countries. Still on the foreign scene, at least 29 Palestinians have been killed in an Israeli airstrike in a residential area of Rafah in southern Gaza. 10 other people were also killed after a hospital was raided in North Gaza in an attack on a refugee camp in that part of the enclave. Tens of thousands of displaced Palestinians have crammed into Rafah on Gaza's border with Egypt to escape Israeli bombardments further north, despite fears that they will also not be safe there. The number of casualties was expected to rise as more bodies were pulled from the rubble, under which people were also trapped. Journalist Adel Zoroub was among the 29 killed in the air raid in Rafah, the government media office in Gaza said on its Telegram channel. Fierce battles raged in northern Gaza, where Hamas continues to put up stiff resistance across what is now a battered wasteland, 7 weeks after Israeli tanks and troops stormed in. And in sports, Leon Balogun, who has been one of the regulars in the Super Eagles since he made his debut for Nigeria in 2014 and the national team's #1 goalkeeper at the Cameroon 2021 edition of the African Cup of Nations, Maduka Okoye, are among players missing in coach Jose Peseira's provisional list for the Côte d'Ivoire 2024 edition of the continent's biggest football showpiece. All the qualified teams are required to forward to the Confederation of African Football a provisional list of players for the competition. It is from this list that the countries would choose their final 27 players for the competition. Apart from Okoye and Balogun, who just helped Glasgow Rangers to win the Scottish Cup last weekend, the other notable absentee is Odion Igalo, who made a brief return to the Super Eagles in the build-up to the ill-fated Qatar 2022 World Cup qualifier against Ghana. Injured Taiwo Woni is unsurprisingly missing from the squad, as he is not expected to have healed properly before the January 13, 2024 kickoff of the Nations Cup. But Super Eagles captain Ahmed Musa, who has not played any major role for the team in the last 2 years, as well as former Golden Eaglets captain Kelechi Nwakali, are included. In the 40-man squad are 6 goalkeepers, 13 defenders, 8 midfielders, and 13 attackers. And with that, we've come to the end of the news update at this hour. Do not forget to follow us across all of our social media platforms and also join our YouTube live stream for more news, programs, and documentary. I'm Aisha Salihu. Thanks for your time.